slide this agenda back up here, and we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, and discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion carries. At this point on our agenda, we invite the public to comment on any matter pertaining to Mass Transit or anything regarding this board you might have interest in. Is anyone from the public wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item and invite Ms. Julia Davis to give us a progress report on the TDP.
Good morning.
You made your rounds to everybody so far?
No, not yet. Thanks for asking.
I know you and I have a chance.
Yes,
Time
I have a chart here. What Commissioner Lindsay is referring to is the stakeholder interviews. So I have to reach out to 20 elected officials over the next few weeks and sit down and chat with them. And the consultant said, Julia, you could do it as a group discussion with like the city of Lakeland or the city of Winter Haven. So now I have to find out how to sunshine that. You know, I know how to, but whether I need to. So I got to talk to them about that. So we're doing a lot of public outreach, and I want to compliment the Citrus Connection team for all of the work everybody's doing to help with the transit development plan, because there are a lot of moving parts. And so I am scheduling the stakeholders interview, and that will include representatives from the city of Lakeland, city of Winter Haven, and I'm also going to reach out to someone from Sunrail. So I need the contact person for Sunrail. I have a contact for Brightline. I'm going to reach out to them to include them as stakeholders. I need a contact information for the Amazon, Geico, and Walmart as employers for the area so that I can interview them and then send them the employee survey. I have reached out to 8 other employers successfully. The bus operator and supervisor survey is complete. Thank you, everybody. I'm organizing the discussion group workshops. Those will be held March 1st through 3rd. I am scheduled to go to numerous Rotary groups and other types, and I want to get with everybody and make sure I've got a consistent message, because as this process goes on and more information becomes apparent and more initiatives are happening, it's really important to stay on message. So I need working on that. We've got 2 rounds of online surveys for the general public. The first round is about to go live. It is in English and Spanish. We are organizing the public workshops. The first one is February 24th. Tom and I taped Monday, and then Tom and Dave and I went out yesterday and collected B-roll footage before the rain. So we did the east infrastructure yesterday. We're going to do the west side soon. We're going to use the Polk Transportation Disadvantaged Local Coordinating Board meeting March 28th as another public workshop. We need help with outreach to the Hispanic community for another workshop. This is some of what's going on now, and if y'all have any questions.
I'll get you an Amazon name.
Thank you. So that's the news. It's going well.
Turn over to Terry. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Sorry about my delay. Should have driven the bus. So let's call our meeting to order. Thank you, Julia, for that presentation. I'll take a motion for the approval of the January LAMTD
We're on
minutes.
4.
You're on 4? Okay. Well, then we're going to go to finance and have our new CFO, Kelly Bennington, present.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm happy to be here, even if the cold weather has followed me down. I'll start with LAMTD. The total revenues realized year to date through December 31st were approximately $5 million, or 167% of the year to date budget. The fare box revenues reflected approximately $78,000, or 52% of the year to date budgeted revenues. Contract revenues, or the universal access passes, totaled $35,000 over the year-to-date budgeted revenues. And the ad valorem taxes totaled $4.7 million. The total budgeted revenues are $5.6 million. Only 95% of the taxes are budgeted by state law. And the support cost reimbursement revenue is in line with budget at $138,000.
Any question on LAMTD financials? All right.
That was the revenues. You want me to continue with the
Oh, yes,
expenses?
I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
no, that's okay. The total expenses totaled $2.4 million, or 81% of the year-to-date budget. Salaries and benefits represent 65%. These expenses totaled $1.532 million, or 20% under budget. Professional and technical services expenses totaled $124,000 of the budget, which is in line. Fuel expenses totaled $133,000, which is also in line with the budget. Materials and supplies totaled $176,000, also in line with the budget. Based on the year-to-date budget to actual variances through December 31st, the financials reflect a favorable actual variance of $2.6 million, with 25% of the fiscal year complete due to the influx of ad valorem tax. Any questions? Moving on to the Polk County Transit. The revenues total $3.4 million, over 100% of the year-to-date budget. The fare revenues totaled $11,000, or 37% of the budget. The Polk County City contributions reflects the payment of $363,000, and the county funding reflects payment of $3.01 million for the budgeted grants match. Although the FDOT grants drawdown and the Royal grants revenues reflects no activity, we will begin aggressively billing. Total expenses for the period totaled $1.77 million, or 79%. Salaries and wages were approximately $884,000, or 78% of the year-to-date budget. Operating expenses totaled $529,000, or 79% of the year-to-date budget. And the contract services are for contractual costs for the several routes that the contractor transitions commute solutions, with expenses year-to-date totaling $356,000, or 81% under budget. Any questions on that one? Next is the Transportation Disadvantage Program. The revenues totaled approximately $513,000, or 78% of the year-to-date budget. The TD Trust Fund grant drawdown reflects $470,000, or 79% of the grant. The county funding for the match totaled around $43,000, or 66%. Total expenses for the period totaled $514,000, or 78% of the year-to-date budget. The labor, including salary, wages, and benefits, totaled $416,000, or 84% of the year-to-date budget. And operating expenses totaled approximately $98,000, or 60% of the budget. Actual revenues are under by about $1,000, but everything in the budget is under at this point, so it's an immaterial difference that should catch back up.
Mayor Mutz.
I have a question, which I should probably know, and I just don't. What is Contractor Transitions Commute Solutions?
On the east side of the county, when the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District merged with Polk County, the county, those services were being provided, and this will lead into agenda item number 7 at Commissioner Lindsay's request. Because there is no East Polk County garage, the county recognized that it was easier to stand up transit partnering with Lynx. Lynx at the time was able to give the county a friends and family discount of a cost per revenue hour that they were sharing with nonprofits and other governmental organizations. Shortly after we merged, we took on those contracts through our procurement and piggybacking process.
Mm-hmm.
Lynx then hit their financial wall, which was well reported in the newspaper, and they're still hitting today. And they had to end the friends and family discount for everyone and start charging their actual cost per revenue hour, which was exorbitantly expensive. And so it was determined that it was in the best fiscal stewardship of the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District and the Polk taxpayers to go out for our own RFP. So Transitions won that bid. Not only, Mr. Mayor, did they come in under Lynx's cost per revenue hour, they came in significantly under Lynx's friends and family cost per revenue hour. So they are our current contractor of record, and I believe that goes out for bid again next year because they're completing their first term. We've been happy with them. They've been able to meet the need that we've had. And Commissioner Santiago, as you know, we've had the few hiccups with them, with the catalytic converters being stolen in Positive Park and those types of things. But we've worked well with them, and some of the security upgrades that we've put have done that as well. But we'll of course go to market and see who's out there. But they've worked out relatively well.
They're headquartered where?
Mr. Dunn, you remember?
Their actual headquarters is in Georgia, Athens, I believe.
We were their first Florida contract, and I believe they've secured a couple of other Florida contracts since then. The large players, Mr. Mayor, are MV Transportation and First Transit are the two larger providers that are out there as well. I do not believe either of those bid the first time we went out for bid due to the size of the contract.
Thank you for the remedial education, but I appreciate it.
Good question. Right. Other questions on this bidding? Okay,
Good job.
Thank you.
now we're going to agenda item 4D.
Asset disposal. For board approval, we have 3 vehicles for disposal. One is LAMTD vehicle and 2 county vehicles. Both exceed their mileage and their years.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion or questions on the asset disposal? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we'll turn it over to legal with Mr. Darby. We have 3 action items under his report.
Yes, first, the services agreement between the district and Fort Meade, based on a request for increased services and a consequent need for increased annual payment amount. We have, the board, it's proposed that the board approve the increase in the payment amount, annual payment amount to $25,190.76 from $20,152.61. That's about a $5,000 increase per year, which Fort Meade would pay based on the increased services provided to Fort Meade. Is that correct, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
The genesis of this, is you may be aware, is that when we added additional services to Bartow a few years back, because the fair share agreements are extremely complex, and I'd like to thank Erin and her team that she manages almost 100% of the fair share agreements now. And so when you're looking at routes like this, when we take away from one, we offer to the other municipality. And so years ago, under Fort Meade's management, they had decided to reduce transit services down to what they felt was the bare minimum under that city manager and that administration. We then offered that to Bartow, who gladly accepted the additional service, and effectively that route, when not going to Fort Meade, created the first ever Bartow circular. But as politics and things change and budgets change, Bartow was looking at their fair share agreement and decided that run was not needed as much as Fort Meade wanting to add it back. So we're now able to restore that service to Fort Meade, so they'll have additional and frequent service. So we're excited about that. And again, I'd like to thank Aaron, because as we start to change these fair share agreements, most of the routes that our fair share agreement truly impact multiple municipalities. So a change that seemingly only affects one community actually has a cascade effect to what the revenue hours are doing, either upstream or downstream.
Yes, sir.
Any new conversation with Eagle Lake? Eagle Lake.
No. We have not. The last communication we had with Eagle Lake was a number of years ago, where we communicated through Soto's office. They had made a request, I believe, of you, of the county commission and the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District. And we formally responded, as did, I believe, the county, that the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District respects local control. And should they want to restore fixed route services, that we stand by ready, willing, and able to do that.
In the fair share formula.
Based on the fair share formula, the residents still enjoy transportation disadvantage. And they are using the bus stops at 17 in Snively and 17 in Buckley. So we're able to pick up residents there. And then under executive director comments, but I'll say it now, we are meeting with Mulberry on the 17th of this month to discuss their transit services and the future of transit in Mulberry.
Mayor Mutz.
Any frost-proof changes?
No, sir.
So do I have a motion to approve the Fort Meade payment increase?
Stay on task.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, thank you. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Mr. Garvey, you're up. Gibson Oaks.
Resolution 22-06 relates to a proposed addition of land to the district owned by Gibson Oaks. There is a copy of a map attached to your agenda item which shows the location of the property. Again, this is pursuant to a requirement by the city of Lakeland as a part of the development of this project that the owner requested the land be included in the district. The owner has made such request, and so now the second step in the process involves this board considering a resolution for the inclusion of the property in the district. The third step, as we have discussed, is the passage of an ordinance by the city of Lakeland including the property.
Move approval of resolution 2206.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions, Mr. Garvey? No comments on the annexation? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 22-07, same process, property owned by Lakeland Regional Health Systems. Property is located west of Kathleen Road, north of Interstate 4. Chuck Farm is here to answer any questions as to the details of this project, but it's the same process. The owner, Lakeland Regional Health Systems, Inc., has requested that this land be included in the district. The district now would consider a resolution for the inclusion of that land, resolution 22-07.
Move approval.
A motion and a second. Any questions on this?
Does Lakeland Regional pay ad valorem taxes and?
No, I don't think so. It's a non-profit corporation. Is that correct, Chuck?
Correct. Really, the intent of this is to get a position so that if they were to sell off part of a future phase of the development, then that would be in the district and then they would be able to collect at that point. So this is really setting things up for future expansion.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, so then there's one more item, a report.
We have to vote.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a motion and a second.
I can't wait.
All in favor? Me either. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, here you go, Mr. Garvey.
So I received yesterday the fully executed funding agreement for transit services between the Legacy VA Lakeland LLC and the district for the VA project. And subsequent to last month's board meeting, a couple of revisions were made to that agreement. One was that after the discussion relating to the impact fee credit, we revised the provision in the agreement to provide that payment be made directly to the district of $150,000, which we received yesterday for the bus, instead of it going to the city and working out the impact fee credit. So everybody agreed to that process. And we also added the provision in the agreement to require that it be recorded in the public records. And so with those two additions, the agreement's fully signed. I'll record it now in the public records. And here's the check for the $150,000 for the bus. So Chuck, do you have anything to add to that?
No, we're very appreciative of the district working with the developer on this. This is going to be a streamlined approach, and so we're excited to get the project under construction and get bus service down.
Great.
So thank y'all.
So that,
I think Ben just wants to turn over the check. That's
Yeah, I'm not-
why
I'm not-
He doesn't want to hang
There you
on.
take a picture of
Yeah, I was gonna say, the new generation shall do a mobile deposit.
So that transaction is concluded. For the time being. That's all.
like to, just on behalf of the district, thank Chuck for all the work
Yes.
that the city did in
Absolutely.
advocating for that. And Chuck informed us at a CRA meeting that we had earlier this week that the construction timeline is estimated at just about 2 years.
Correct.
So we will get this check deposited, and that 2 years coincides just about perfectly with how long it takes us to get a bus. So we will be as aggressive as possible in ordering that bus, so that hopefully when the service starts, we'll be able to have a brand new shiny bus for the vets. I know that's something that's important to Mr. Dunn being a vet himself, so we'll try to make that happen.
Absolutely. We like when things come out systematically and in order. Thank
Since it
you.
happens so rarely, we enjoy it.
I want to highlight how that all the teams have worked together to make that
We
happen.
disposed of the 16-year bus.
Right, exactly. All right,
16 years, the new one, 16 years. together.
Ms. Killebrew Kinlaw, you're on deck.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a commercial that Donovan Tinsley and Tinsley Creative did. Really the point of this was Dave on my team was spending so much time doing CCTVs and announcements on the change of the service for the squeeze because we were changing it every couple of weeks. So this is going to allow us, because it's text, this is going to allow us to go in and change the text every time something changes with it, which could be because of inclement weather or whatever, then we can show it. It's a couple of minutes long, but we think it's really, really good.
So Erin, is that in mobile form? Like people can pull that up, I'm not mobile form, but you can pull it up on your phone.
Right now, it's just in Dropbox. He can change it to where we can post it on Facebook and on the website and Instagram and those kinds of things.
Can you break it apart so that those text-rich pieces can be screenshot? Or can you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yes, he can do anything with it for this purpose, and just in case the board wanted something changed or whatever, we just wanted to be able to show it for today.
I just think with all those bullet, and I'm glad it's slower so you can read all the bullet points, but when you're looking at the Venmo and the Cash App, that goes I am old, so I screenshot a lot of stuff on my phone, so I can go back and read it. So as long as they can do that, that would be great. Or even if those can be individual slides, to highlight on Instagram or something at different times, that would be really good. If you can piece it, break it apart. But I think it's great. Any other comments or questions?
I'm older, I just hand him $2, man, I'll take it.
Stop. Okay, thank you.
New world.
It's great.
Too late for that.
I like the little golf cart country town too.
Nice.
And the nice thing is you can change out those graphics in case somebody's sponsorship changes somewhere, right?
Yes.
Always thinking. Love it. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Steinbauer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have an update on the Motor Pool Road site. It's currently owned by Winter Haven, and and it's under a long-term lease agreement with Board of County Commissioners. This site has been an ongoing kind of stagnant project. We'd like to start utilizing the site. Currently, it is secured by fencing and 2 gates. So we're looking to update the fencing by adding barbed wire, new gate operators, upgrading the electrical panels. So that way we can add a mobile office and bathroom. This site will be used for maintenance staff and also spare vehicles. The Winter Haven terminal currently does not have the space for spare vehicles, so we would like to start using the site for that. The other thing we'd like to start doing is using it for maintenance items, small maintenance items like lights, flat tires, things like that, to get out of the public's eye, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. It doesn't look right, in my opinion, that we do small maintenance items at the terminal. Just looking at it, you say, okay, it's a light, but what else is wrong with the bus? So we'd rather be out of the public eye on it. So that's our first phase with this site. Second phase would be looking at fueling, diesel tank, unleaded tank, and seeing what else we can do. Everything does have to be approved by the city of Winter Haven because of the lease agreement, but we would like to start using